Forget pitch slapping. The future of B2B marketing is about building trust. In this video, I'm going to reveal to you how to create real connections so prospects come to you ready to buy. And I used this exact strategy on one of our recent ad campaigns, which resulted in a 10 times return on our ad spend. And in this video, I'm going to cover what that new system is, why it is so effective, and how you can set it up for your own company. With the best part being that 90% of this strategy only needs to be set up once and then it runs on autopilot. And hey, if you don't know who I am, my name's John. I'm the founder of a company called Min-Max Media, and it is my mission to create the most simple, efficient, and effective client acquisition system possible. Something I've dubbed the Control Growth Framework, and to help you implement that in your own business. There's a link below if you want to know more. So firstly, why is this new system any different to what you've been doing so far? Well, if you're like most people, your marketing probably goes something like this. Send a bunch of cold emails or LinkedIn DMs to people, just pitch slapping them with your service. Run ads telling people exactly what you do and also obviously how amazing you are at it. And spend countless hours posting content just hoping that it'll bring you something, anything. But occasionally a miracle happens and you get a sales call in the diary, only to find that the person probably doesn't show up. Or they do show up and you speak to them and it goes well, but they need to think about it. And then you never hear back from them again, they ghost you. It's so inconsistent and it feels like you're constantly having to chase everyone. Well, good news. This new system completely reverses that dynamic, with the goal being to attract people to you and also prepare them to buy before you even ask for the sale.
Oh yeah. Fuck yeah.
So why does it work? Well, you see, most of the marketing advice you've been given is insanely generic and it's not actually tailored to you. You see, B2B marketing is an entirely different beast. So if I'm in a B2C industry such as plumbing and there's a person out there with a leaking tap, it's super easy for me to sell to that person. They have an immediate, tangible problem, and my services as a plumber are relatively cheap. It's relatively transactional. So as a plumber, I can market in a really direct way. It's simple. Unfortunately, if I take those exact same marketing strategies that have worked in that plumbing example and I apply them to B2B, it's a disaster, because B2B sales often involves way more commitment. It's more expensive, it usually requires you having to change some sort of process, more people are involved in the decision-making process. It might even involve more work for you or your team to implement a solution, which is why the direct route of just pitch slapping everybody doesn't work for most companies. So if we can shift our approach from a really direct approach, which makes every interaction feel like some sort of money grab, to an approach which instead focuses on building relationships with prospects, then we can build more trust with them and they're more likely to buy. But how the f do we do that? Well, good news, it's actually really easy. Like, really easy. Seriously, you'll kick yourself. And if you want to go into even more depth, I will put some links in the description which will help you out. Now, imagine you are the founder of a company and you're struggling with client acquisition. One day you're on LinkedIn scrolling and you see a post and it speaks to you. It explains all of the pain that you're currently experiencing and it articulates that better than you could yourself. Not only that, but it's also providing a solution. So you click on the ad out of interest, which takes you through to a landing page. And the landing page gives you more context, but it asks you to book a call. And I mean, surely none of this will work anyway, right? So maybe later, you click away. But then later that day, you see another post from that same company in your LinkedIn feed. And the post, as if reading your mind, addresses your concerns. It's a testimonial from someone just like you, who is in the situation you are in now, who is claiming that they have overcome that, changed their situation, and experienced a better outcome. And over the days, this continues. And you start to feel like you know this company. In fact, you even forget how you first became aware of them. Anyway, a week or so passes and now you've seen countless videos explaining how the company's services work and testimonials from other people, so you decide to book a call. And before you even show up to the call, you're receiving a stream of emails which just answer questions you were going to ask on the call anyway, such as how much the service actually costs, or what the timeline is like to results, or what you have to do to ensure that you get the result. So you jump on the call feeling like you already know exactly what it is they do and you know how they do it. So you have a chat and it goes well, but the timing isn't quite right, so you just need to think about it. Absolutely no worries, they just book in a follow-up call with you for 2 weeks' time. But then when you get off the call, it doesn't end. Every day they send you value, free resources, case studies. The person who you spoke to on the sales call has now added you on LinkedIn and they're interacting with your content. And now not only you, but everyone else in your organization is familiar with this company because they keep seeing their posts in their feed as well. So you go back to that second call, experiencing something you've never experienced before, and you know that you're going to buy. No sales resistance, no doubt, no pushy objection handling. And that is the exact system we're going to set up. The good news is that 90% of what I just spoke through is automated and it only needs to be set up once. But how do you set it up? Well, this strategy works on multiple platforms, but for most B2B companies, LinkedIn is the most consistent. Oh, and by the way, if you want help implementing any of this, there's a link below. I can help you one-on-one. So firstly, we're going to make some ads that highlight the pain that someone is feeling. And we're also going to attach an outcome-driven offer. Not what we do, not how we do it. We promote the pain that they are experiencing and the outcome that they want. The middle bit, or the bridge, is our solution, and we'll get to that later. Then we'll promote these ads to our ideal target audience using the LinkedIn Ads Audience Builder. And as a bonus tip, you always want to test 3 different audiences. I cover exactly how you do that in our LinkedIn ads guides. Subscribe if you want to see those. Now, this is where most people stop, not realizing that they're missing out on rocket fuel for their marketing. So we're going to create audiences on LinkedIn of people who have visited our website and who have clicked on our ads. These actions indicate that they have the problem and that they're interested in a solution. So we're just creating a bucket of high intent prospects. If you want to go a bit more advanced and be omni-channel, you can also start doing this on Facebook. Now we're going to set up a remarketing campaign, which only runs to people who have previously shown interest by interacting with us. And in this campaign, we're going to put a mix of content. We want content that's going to build trust, such as case studies, testimonials, or reviews. We also want content that educates, so that we can set ourselves up as an expert in our field. Then we want content that simply entertains, so think memes or comedy skits, just so that people start to like us. And we also want content that addresses common questions and common objections. We'll also repeat the initial call to action, such as booking a call, in all pieces of content. This is now serving dual purpose. Mop up people who didn't convert at the cold tier and build trust with everyone, including those people who have already booked a call. This will result in calls in your diary. But that wasn't the end of the system. We're trying to build a relationship now. So we want to get every decision maker in that prospect's company on our side, so that when internal discussions happen, it's between a bunch of people who already know and like us. So we go back to that remarketing campaign we built, and we will manually add the company names of any companies that are currently in our sales process, so that we can guarantee all stakeholders are seeing our content. After the call, we'll also manually add the prospect on LinkedIn and we'll start interacting with their content. We also want to set up email automation sequences that fire off relative to that prospect stage in our pipeline. Yet again, following those content rules of building trust and giving value. The key here, and the thing that most people get wrong, is that you want to give, not take. Most companies' approaches to B2B marketing is all about taking. It's about constantly asking, and as a result, it's a disaster. We want to give about 70% of the time and ask about 30%. A recent campaign we ran using this exact method resulted in a cold cost per call of £130 and a remarketing cost per call of £80. with a 20% close rate on all leads. Now, this is the strategy, but there is way more detail that you need to be able to execute it well. Thankfully, in this video here, I cover our signature system, the Control Growth Framework, which explains how you can implement this in even more detail and some additional elements you can add on to make it even more effective.